it was
why?
a problem.
If it's no big deal.
Some people feel it's a problem if you beat an NBA team by 50 or 60. I don't. You're professional athletes. You're being paid. If you feel disrespected by the coach not coaching, you know what? Beat them. Beat the team. If you can't beat them without the coach, then you don't have a word to say.
No, Steve Kerr knew that it looked funny. It wasn't right. You don't want to rub it in other people's faces.
He didn't rub it.
Or act as if they don't count. They don't even count.
Hold on. They're being paid millions of dollars.
Steve Kerr's paid millions of dollars to coach. And then he's taking plays off?
This was a coaching move. How many I can count? There are a handful of coaches in NBA history who know what it's like to try to get a team to a fourth straight finals. Most of these coaches have no idea. You have to come up. Yes, you have to come up with strategies to keep things fresh because the regular season is meaningless. These games don't matter to Golden State. So you have to do something to keep it fresh, get them energized, get them to have fun with it. That's what he did. They're playing Phoenix. Phoenix loses by 40 points every night.
That doesn't mean
so he said, let me get Andre Iguodala involved. Let me get Draymond into this. Let me have some fun. That's what happened.
What about the people who bought tickets to see Steve Kerr coach?
Oh, yeah.
Really? That sounds like they got cheated.
Right? Steve Kerr has every right to be upset. Why? Because he has the best team in the league. And there was nothing else going on that was special in that game. So we turn to this. This is what we turn to. But when we watch the NBA and we see them go into timeouts, how many times do we see a LeBron James, a Kobe Bryant, these great players, these great minds, a Chris Paul running their timeout, talking to the team? It's nothing new.
And Greg, how many times do those coaches after a game? You're talking about being in a huddle and a player making a suggestion or saying or going over.
No. Sometimes they let the player draw it out.
Not like this, and that's why Steve Kerr had to address
it.
But
if you listen to Steve Kerr, and he has every right to address it and to say something.
Why? He didn't do anything wrong.
Because he knows that everybody's going to turn it into something that it's not. When you listen to what Steve Kerr said, and he said, I've been trying to reach my guys all year.
Yes.
I haven't been able to reach my guys all year.
He should coach them.
This was a move.
Understand this, Rob. When you've been in a locker room and you're listening to a coach who you've had success with, you start to turn a deaf ear. I don't care who you are. You start to think your stuff doesn't stink and we'll figure it out on our own. You have to be creative and innovative and you have to evolve. And if your players aren't listening to you, find somebody that they will listen to. Every coach has pulled in a player that has a voice in the locker room and said, I need you to address the team because they are not adhering to my points that I'm trying to get across. And so with that, I think Draymond wasn't even dressed. To keep him engaged, these guys respond to Draymond Green. He is their guy. He is the pillar in that locker room. And so when Draymond gets involved, he can gather their attention. And then you have Iguodala, who is the veteran of the team, the elder statesman. They're going to pay attention.
Listen to what you're saying. You mean to tell me Draymond Green drawing up a play in a 40-point blowout is going to get these guys?
Well, it wasn't a 40-point blowout all night. They let him.
Oh yeah, Draymond drew up a plan that's going to make us win the championship.
No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point.
It's comical.
It's just like what is wrong with it? Tell me what is wrong with it.
Because it's a diss to the game.
How? They used to have player coaches in the NBA.
Yeah, but we don't have that anymore.
Rob.
All I'm saying is this game is a blowout. It's so boring. There's nothing here. Hey, Draymond, here's the board. Have fun.
They were doing it before it became a blowout, Rob. They were doing it before it was out of hand.
I want to see Steve Kerr, when his team is down by 20 in the NBA Finals, give the board to Draymond and say, draw up a play and get us involved so we can come back and win the championship. It'll never happen, Chris. Would he do it in the playoffs?
Steve Kerr.
Would he do it in the playoffs as a motivational tool?
No, because in the playoffs, the players are motivated. You don't need to give them motivation in the playoffs.
This was playtime. This is all it was.
He needed to motivate the squad.
What you see as playtime they understand that we're going to need these guys. If we're going to do something special, we talk about them going back to back finals appearances. If they're going to do this again, they're going to need these guys that are playing in playtime or garbage time, if you will, to take advantage of the moment. The only way they really take advantage of the moment is if they can stay locked in and the guys around them who have acquired this lead stays locked in as well. That's what Steve Kerr was doing. However we want to spin it and say, oh, he was making a joke of it or he was having fun with it, whatever you want to say, he has every right to be upset because he's the head coach and he chooses how he wants to coach his team.
If this was cool and this is what to be expected and this is something that he did, Steve Kerr would not have gone to the Suns coach. The reporters who cover the team wouldn't have asked about it because it wouldn't have been a big deal. It would have been something that's been done and he knew, that's why we're trying to head it off at the pass, what it looked like, and that's why Steve Kerr, and then that's why he got all worked up about, oh, the world is insane because they asked him about it. All I'm saying is if it wasn't a big deal, Chris, you notice you've been a reporter for 30 years. I mean, 25.
You can
You know what I'm
ask,
saying? You wouldn't ask questions. You ask every question about every game. Hey, Draymond, why do you have on blue shoes? If it's not really relevant,
if they
you don't ask
something
about it.
out of the ordinary, you ask about it. Whether it's good
So this
or
is
bad.
out of the ordinary,
If Draymond,
right?
yes, it's out of
Absolutely.
the ordinary, no question. But that doesn't mean it's negative. I mean, Steve Kerr, for him to take this criticism, he is one of the most ego-free, I guess,
he's
coaches.
the best.
Look,
the best.
people are already saying anybody could coach the Warriors. You know, Mike Brown coached them in the playoffs last year. They didn't miss a beat. Luke Walton coached them. They didn't miss a beat. And for him to know that's out there and to still say, I'm going to let my players coach, that's an ego-free guy who's not trying to hurt anybody. He's trying to motivate his team, keep them engaged during a long regular season when in the player's mind, man, we can't wait till April or May because the rest of this stuff don't even matter.
Okay.
That's all it was.
It happens in all of sports. It happens in football, specifically in the preseason.
Preseason when the game doesn't matter. Okay, I got you.
It's a blowout.
No,
It's a blowout.
Right, so the blowout...
So to keep guys engaged, let me tell you why it happens in the preseason. Because you have your starters not playing. So you'll take a quarterback or Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady and give him a headset and give him the play call sheet and have him calling plays to stay engaged. So it doesn't look like, oh, we're just out here just to support the other. No, we're staying engaged. We're still actively involved in this team win, this team atmosphere right now. That's all it is. It's not something that's new. It's something that's shocking because, man, they're getting blown out. Oh, let's try to change the narrative now. Let's look at something else that's entertaining, that's interesting. Is that Draymond Green and Iguodala drawing up plays? We have to come up with some type of news. He has every right to be upset at people like yourself that's going to always try to change it and spin it.
Rob, I feel like we were winning this argument until they started talking.
Yeah,
like
until we gave logic.
I feel like they
She's
convinced
just
me.
abandoned. You didn't abandon. I'm just a moderator.
Come on.
No, and until you said, think about all the fans who go to watch Steve Kerr coach.
They felt like they got cheated. He wasn't coaching that night. He didn't give a full
Yeah, there's hundreds of thousands.
I can't wait to go and watch Steve Kerr next week.
Oh, my God. All right, well, Cavs fans don't pay to watch Ty Lue coach either. They go to watch LeBron James. So will the Cavs revamp roster, keep LeBron in Cleveland? We'll talk about those chances coming up next. Don't go anywhere.